Hey everybody, it's Maria, and I'm so glad that you're here because today my friend Erica and I are celebrating a combined YouTube milestone of 5,000 subscribers. What better way to celebrate than with a rainbow-themed YouTube hop complete with over $400 in giveaways from some very generous sponsors. We thought the rainbow theme was a great idea because it allows people to interpret it however they want, and you're going to see a ton of creativity in this YouTube hop. So after you're done watching my video, make sure you click the link in the description box below to head on to the next video in the hop. Now, my favorite way to create is to sit down without a plan and just make something. So I've shown up today with all the rainbow colors in Dina Wakley sprays, the distress oxides and stains, and lots of different stencils and stamps to work with. And basically what I'm going to do is just create a whole bunch of backgrounds and turn some of them into cards. So I'm starting out by spraying my Dina Wakley gloss sprays onto a slimline size piece of paper. And I love these sprays. They are acrylic, and while they're wet, they blend together so smoothly. But if they're dry, they do like a little bit of a resist. So I've got my rainbow spray down on that first cardstock, and I'm going to set it aside to dry. Now I've gotten that piece of white cardstock. In the beginning, I stamped a little bit of a text stamp background from Hero Arts onto that, and I'm spraying it with a mix of the Distress stains, oxides, and Dina Wakley gloss sprays. Now these dry really quickly, so it means you can work on top of them without having to wait for very long. And I've got some white acrylic paint there and a stencil that I'm just working through, and I'm just using a sponge dauber to work that acrylic paint through the stencil onto my background. Again, this dries really quickly, so I'm not entirely worried about smearing anything or transferring paint to my stamp. So that is a Hero Arts Cobblestone Bold Print stamp, and I'm just doing what I call taco stamping and folding my large stamp in half so that I can easily apply random texture to my background. So this one looks good for now, but we will come back to it later. So we'll set it aside, and for this next piece, I am going to again be going back to my Dina Wakley sprays, and I'm going to keep this background a little bit more simple this time, and I'm just going to spray these three colors and set that one aside without doing anything else to it. I'm taking that background scratch paper that I was using and spraying that through a stencil, and then using the same stencil upside down to transfer that print onto a clean piece of paper. Now this gloss spray dried really quickly, and I was able to almost immediately ink blend the background with some yellow Hero Hues reactive ink. I love the way that that color contrasts. Now I've got these backgrounds, and I cut the one on the right into pieces, so I've now got 6 backgrounds, and I'm going to start adding some more contrast to these backgrounds. I like to do that with acrylic paint and stencils, so now I've just got some black acrylic paint and a stencil from Hero Arts, and I'm just adding some contrast on top of the backgrounds that I've already created. I do want to add some more texture, so I'm going to go in now with some embossing ink. So you're not going to see it as I apply it, but once I heat emboss the sand embossing powder, you're really going to see what a huge difference that extra layer of texture makes. Now this is one of my favorite ever embossing powders because of all of the different colors and textures that it has. Now I'm going to grab a different stencil, the floral tile stencil from Hero Arts, and again I'm applying some sand embossing powder, and I just love the way that that looks. It's like a mottled metallic look. Now I'm adding some white acrylic paint to my rainbow slimline background, and I'm going to be using this paint as adhesive for these gold gilding flakes from Tonic Studios. I'm being careful as I apply these to just pat the gilding flakes into the paint. If you rub it and your paint is still wet, you're just going to end up smearing paint and gilding flakes. So now that I've got those applied and my acrylic paint is dry, I can take a dry flat brush and burnish off the extra little crumbly edges of those gilding flakes, and it will reveal a perfectly stenciled gilded background. Now for this next background, I'm going in with a different stencil from Hero Arts. The names will all be listed in the description box below. And I'm going to heat emboss this time with brass, which is one of my favorite metallic embossing powders. It really adds a pretty look, and I almost think it looks like fish. Now, another way that I love to add texture to my card backgrounds is by splattering, and this time I'm just splattering some watered down acrylic paint onto all of the backgrounds that you've seen me make already. Once all of those are done, I'm going to give you a look at all of them together, and then here's what they look like when they're on card bases. So you can see that they clean up pretty well once they're framed out on card bases. Now, when you've got some wild and crazy backgrounds like these ones, a very easy way to finish them off is by using some bold sentiments like these ones from Hero Arts. So now let's take a look at how all of these cards turned out. I love this background, but I'll have to finish it another day. Now this card I finished with the Hello There Stampin' Cut and a sentiment from Pink Fresh Studio. This next card, I used a die from Erin Lee Creative and a sentiment stamped from Pink Fresh Studio. And this one is a Stampin' Cut XL from Hero Arts. It's called Happy Thanks, and I'm trying to catch the light in those gilding flakes for you so you can see how cool they look in real life. Now this next one I finished off with the Big Hugs Stampin' Cut. And my next two cards are both finished off with the Love You Stampin' Cut from Hero Arts. Now, thank you so much for joining us today. If you remember at the beginning of this video, I said that we had some awesome giveaways for you today. Our sponsors have generously donated over $400 in prizes, and the giveaway details are below, but all you need to do is leave a comment here on my YouTube channel, and then leave more comments on the other videos included in this hop for more chances to win. As you go through this hop, if you discover a new to you YouTuber that you just absolutely love, I hope you'll consider subscribing to their channel. It totally means the world to us when you do subscribe and watch our videos. Now here's one last look at our generous sponsors. If you have a chance to support them, these are wonderful companies. And thank you so much for joining us today as Erica and I celebrate our YouTube milestone together. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you back here very soon. Bye for now.